Hello folks and welcome to another Mac Tactics video by me, Tactical Mac 7. Nice one to do at the end of the cycle of EAFC 24. I am doing my top 5 formations that I've used over the year. Now, I did start doing this about 2 weeks ago, and to get 5 formations has been so difficult. For me, there's 2 that stand out in the meta. 2 formations that stand out in the meta. But then there's like 6 that are super fun and have been super fun over the course of the year. And then there's probably another 3 or 4 that you could throw in the mix, just a tier down. So I did think about doing a tier list, and I might do that for an extended like 15 or just every formation in the game where they fit in my tier list. But the way I've considered these are how much fun I've had with them, how meta they've been, my success rate with them, and how they've developed over the course of the year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the formations, and then I'm going to leave links to every video that I have done for the corresponding formation, because I've done multiple for each of them, I think. Should have done. Well, I have done, but really when you get to like the 4, 2, 1, 3, there only is one that's really viable for that. So spoiler, that may or may not be in it. So I'm going to get into the tactics. I'm just going to show it. This is my Xbox account. I'm back on this just for the end. I haven't played it. Like you can see, I still have. I've opened a few packs recently and I've got some footies, but like I only played 29 games with this card and stuff. And then but you want to see something really funny? Like I bought Morgan, Swanson, and Rodman. I think I was planning on doing a video with them. I can't remember when I bought them, but 297,000 I paid for her. Can we have a look at what she'd sell for now? Like 15k. What about this? This is going to be embarrassing when you see how much I paid for this card. 750,000 for like 21 games, and she's like super cheap. Oh, just a 700,000 loss on that. And then Swanson paid 264, and she's down to this card as well. So yeah, it's all fun. Yeah, let's get into the top 5. So starting with number 5. At number 5, the 4-3-3-2. This was, for me, my favourite 4-3-3 over the last year. It kind of replaced, for me, the 4-3-3-5 and the 4-3-3-4. And the reason for that was I felt like this was a lot more balanced. I felt like your defence, you could have both your fullbacks on balanced and overlap. Your 2 centre mids... That's the wrong one. Your 2 centre mids on balance and overlap. And that would create this... and your CDM on deep line playmaker and stay back while attacking. So your CDM would create like an inverted sweeper. Then your 2 centre mids would bomb forward at different times, making these crazy late runs into the box. Then you had your 2 fullbacks who would push up. Because they were unbalanced, they wouldn't bomb forward both together, but they would push forward, sometimes together, sometimes independently. Your 2 wingers would cut inside. So you had this kind of really interesting shape in the attacking third. And it was, for me, it was my 2 centre mids that became the most important players in this team. And I made a couple of formations a couple of tactics on this. I'll link them down in the bottom. So yeah, this was for me the best 4-3-3, and it made my number 5th spot. Number 5th? Made the 5th spot, number 5. You know what I mean? Yeah. In 4th place, we have the 4-1-2-1-2-2. This formation for me was my tiki-taka formation. It was how I played the best tiki-taka. I had a couple of tactics I'll leave down in the description. It was phenomenal for me at different points in the game. When they kind of nerfed passing a little bit early on, it became like the most OP tiki-taka I could play. Before it all became about like cross balls and switch and play. So that's why this is 4th. This would have been higher on the list had play switching not been such a big thing this year. Certainly one of my favourite formations over the course of the years. And surprisingly, I was surprised that this kind of came back so well this year after having a few years where it hasn't been that great. So yeah, the things about this formation that made it so good were the front three, and having one of your centre mids or both centre mids on balanced, allowing them to get forward. So once again, you had that crazy attacking orientation, but you had this inverted sweeper who was able to sit with your two centre defenders. One of your fullbacks would have been on balance and overlap. The other one would have been on stay back while attacking and inverted, which allowed you to have a solid back four, and one of your it was normally my left back, if I'm honest, and my left back would push up into the left wing position and allow for big diagonal balls. My cam was the one I would have it on come back. They would either go back into the left mid or the right mid position, and my two strikers would stay up top. So you'd end up, it was another one of these formations that you could defend in a 4-4-2 and attack in a, I don't know, it was like a 3-2 whatever. It was mental. I'll leave the tactics down because they are still OP and still really good if you like tiki-taka football. I love tiki-taka football, and this is one of the things that I really pushed for. So yeah, that's number 4. So let's get into the next one. At number 3, we have the 4-2-1-3. The most broken formation and tactic that I used this year. I put out the tactic recently. Again, I'll leave a link into the description. This is a weird one because I only have one tactic for this. Yet it's made the top 3. It was because of the heading meta. I wouldn't have set it up like this with Morgan. It would have been Haaland or Sorloth or whoever. And in the cam position, I would have also had, or Crouch. Crouch was really good. I would have also had Crouch or Sorloth or someone like that. The Futties players. This was a Futties tactic. It worked so well in the Futties because you had big, strong players who had 99 vision and 99 short passing. So you could have Sorloth, Boniface, Crouch. They were just all-round attacking players. So you could put them at cam, you could put them at striker. You left your wingers wide. You had your fullbacks push up. Everybody had whipped passing, whipped crossing. And you just whipped balls into the middle for headers at goals, or you whipped balls to the back post for knockdowns. It really, really bought into the meta that this EAFC game was. It was crossfield passes, whipped crosses, back post headers. That was the things that we'll remember this FIFA for, this EAFC for. So we just we leaned into it and we came up with this, and everyone loved it. One of my most popular videos, one of my most viewed videos, so it's great. I'll leave the link to that in the description if you want to have a go at this. And at the end, all these tactics and all the formations and tactics that I give you are still valid and still viable now. But yeah, this is the beginning of the top 3. So let's get into number 2. Number 2 might surprise you. May not surprise you, but it might surprise you. Let's get into number 2. So at number 2, a lot of people's favourite, the 4-3-2-1. This would be the formation you've seen the most. So you're like, why is it number 2? I'm going to explain why this is number 2 when I explain to you why number 1 is number 1. The reason for this one being number 2 and why it's the top 2 formation is the ability to attack in a 3 and defend in a 4-4-2. So as everybody probably knows by now, I don't really need to explain this. One of your centre forwards and your striker would stay forward. One of your centre forwards would drop back into the left mid or the right mid position. One of your centre mids would then move to the other side and become a right mid or left mid. One of your fullbacks would be on overlap and balanced, and the other one would be on stay back and defend. This would give you a 4-4-2 in defence and a 4-3-3 in attack. What it also did, though, is it compressed the whole team more than any other formation for a reason that none of us, well, no one's ever been able to explain to me, so I'm going to say nobody really understands. I think that's why EA have nerfed the centre forwards to cams, so you can't get the same instructions on them, the same player rules. And certainly playing the beta, 4-3-3 plays completely, 4-3-2-1 plays completely differently. Is it going to be broken next year? Maybe. It may be broken, because with the cams, you unlock crazy passing potential. So depending on what the day 1 patch does, because we all know about that day 1 patch, depending on what the day 1 patch does, it might make this super OP or it might make it a not so OP formation. But certainly this year, it was the one that everybody went to. All the pro players played it because they had to. All the elite players up at the higher elos would play it. All the really competitive players would play it, and they wouldn't move from it. I've seen a lot of streamers only play this all year, And that was for me, a really negative aspect of the exposure that this tactic got. It's a really fun and really good formation. It's just a lot of people will hate it now because they're always coming up against it or they're always having to play it. Super fun if you play it the right way, and super fun if you play the game just to have fun. But yeah, a lot of people will be turned off to it now. But this was my number 2 tactic because, you know, it had to be. And the only reason it's number 2 is because I feel that the only tactic that really consistently beats this is the number 1 tactic. So, let's get into the... Well, actually, let's take a wait. Let's pause the number 1 just now, and let's look at a honourable mention tactic. So, let's get into that. Honourable mention, the 4-2-3-1. Everybody should know this is my favourite tactic. To not be in the top 5 is madness. It would definitely be within the top 10, purely for its versatility. But its versatility is what's killed it for me this year. I know some of the pros had success with the events and stuff, and I know a lot of people love this formation, and I love this formation. The problem with it this year is it just didn't do anything to the top tier. It could be ultra defensive, it could be ultra attacking, but there were always other formations I would put ahead of it in those categories. So it just became a little bit of a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. So that was a bit annoying. I love this formation, and it will be the first formation I test in after the day 1 patch in EAFC25. And I will bring you out multiple tactics for this early on, because for me, having those 2 CDMs give you such a solid base. And if you're struggling with defense, this is a formation you want to go to. If you're struggling by getting countered, this is a formation you want to go to. If you're struggling to play nice tiki-taka, go to this formation. The only thing is, once you get good at each of those parts, you will move on to another one. Tiki-taka, 4-1-2-1-2. Seeing out a game, 5-2-2-1. Counter-attack, 4-3-2-1. You know, there are just better formations for each of those big things. But this, for me, is the most versatile formation in the game. It always will be, I think. I don't think anything will touch it. Well, we'll see what they bring out next year. Hopefully this is still OP next year, because I love this formation. I love the way it moves. But yeah, this is my honourable mention. I would have loved this to be in the top 5. One of these is why the video is taking so long to bring out, because I just couldn't bring myself to not put this in the top 5. But let's get into number 1. And here it is, the number 1 formation. The formation that I feel has been the best over the course of the whole of EAFC24. It is none other than the one I preached the most, the one I pushed the most, the one I talked about the most, the one I've made multiple videos on at every depth I could possibly think of. The 5-4-1. 5-4-1 that was banned in the pro scene, the 5-4-1 that every pro player would use if they could, the 5-4-1 that I have championed since Christmas time, the 5-4-1 that I have felt is the most balanced formation. The formation that we take the tactic that we take a defensive formation and a 5-back, and we turn it into one of the most potent attacking formations you will find in this game. And then when the opposition holds on the ball for a long period of time, we drop back into a really rigid 5-4-1. And we make it really difficult for them to break through. On the counter-attack, we're still really solid with 3 centre-backs. We would always use one of our centre-backs, normally the middle one, as a CDM or a centre-mid, because they give us passing options. That allowed us to play big passes out to the wide left and the wide right. It was important for us to be able to do these things. It was important for us to use the meta of the game, the meta techniques, and not abuse them, but play them to our advantage. Knock down back post headers. Could do with this. Your left mid and your right mid we played as strikers, so they were getting into the box and they were making a forward 3, so you almost had all the attacking ability of the 4-3-2-1, but you had much better defensive capability. You didn't have any CDMs. That was a little bit of a problem, but your 2 centre mids with high or medium high work rates would mop up anything that needed to be mopped up. They weren't used as auxiliary attackers because you didn't need them to be auxiliary attackers. One of them could get on the edge of the box, but you had 3 players in the box when you could quickly counter-attack. This made 5-4-1 the most brilliant formation to use in EAFC24. And if you haven't had a chance to use it so far, links will be in my description for all the different tactics I made for them. Please give it a go and have fun with it. But at the end of the game, who cares? prep yourself, because there will be a 5-4-1 or variation in EAFC 25. Even though right wing backs and left wing backs are gone, the actual roles don't disappear. You'll just be picking the right cards that have those plus and plus plus stats on their player roles for wing backs. That's what I've looked for. That's what I've played about with. I'm not saying I've got a tactic that works for 5-4-1 yet, but I am saying I've got a tactic that looks pretty good. So that'll have to wait till EAFC 25. But for me, this was the best formation. This was the best tactic. Overall, it was the most versatile to use in-game. It allowed you to attack with great potential and allowed you to defend really solidly. If you've not used this before and you haven't had a chance to go at it, please do. I love this formation. You will love it too. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you. Leave a note in the comments to let me know what formations you think should have been in the top 5. I will probably agree with you, because I had such a hard time putting 5 of these together. There are so many tactics I would like to put in. Like I say, top 10, top 15, we could do that as well. But for me, these were the top 5. Give everything a go. Have a shot at them. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you're new here. And thank you guys for a wonderful year on EAFC 24. I know I only started in January, but it's amazing how far we've come in that short space in time. So thank you very much. Big shout out to all the people that have subscribed over the year, and big shout out to everybody that's commented and had conversation with me. Even if you're telling me I am wrong, I will still listen to you, because I feel it's important that everybody has a voice and we all respect each other. And that's what I like about this kind of community, because in the game you can get way too many toxic people. Sometimes toxic's fun though, depending on what they do. Right, catch you guys in the next video. Remember, only play the game while you're having fun. Catch you guys later. Bye.